Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce a car so aristocratic, so wildly over-engineered, that it makes a Bugatti Royale look like a student project built from IKEA planks and leftover champagne corks. Behold, the 1924 Hispano-Suiza H6C Tulipwood Torpedo, a vehicle that's equal parts aircraft, sculpture, and fever dream. This isn't a car you drive. This is a car you recite poetry to, ideally while wearing leather gloves and crying softly into your brandy. But before we lose ourselves in its polished mahogany curves, give that subscribe button the same gentle affection you'd show to a century-old Fender. It keeps our lights on, our jokes flowing, and saves us from selling jars of vintage exhaust vapor to fund the channel. Now, picture the world in 1924. Jazz, monocles, and the kind of optimism that could power a Zeppelin. Hispano-Suiza wasn't just a car maker back then, it was a royal decree on wheels. Founded by Spanish industrialist Damian Mateo and engineered by Swiss genius Marc Burgicht, the brand was known for cars that blended the elegance of a ballroom with the horsepower of a freight train. The H6, launched after the Great War, was already a marvel, an inline six so smooth that made Rolls-Royce engineers whisper respect under their breath. But by the mid-20s, the world wanted more speed, more danger, and a dash of insanity. Enter André Dubonnet, aviator, Olympic bobsledder, inventor, playboy, and heir to a French appareil fortune. The man didn't just want a car, he wanted an event. So he asked Hispano-Suiza for something unprecedented. A racing machine that could conquer endurance races and still make the champagne crowd swoon. What they delivered was nothing short of alchemy, using the new H6C Sport chassis, complete with a colossal 8-liter straight six. Dubonnet handed the project to the Newport Astra Aircraft Company. Yes, aircraft, because apparently building planes wasn't exciting enough. The engineers there created a body like no other. Thin strips of mahogany 1/8 of an inch thick, riveted by hand over a skeleton of wooden ribs, thousands of aluminum rivets gleaming like starlight. The result? A car body weighing barely 160 pounds. That's right, a wooden rocket ship with the heart of a battleship. The name Tulipwood wasn't even accurate. It wasn't Tulipwood at all. But mahogany missile doesn't exactly roll off the tongue, does it? Dubonnet debuted his handcrafted spaceship at the Targa Florio, one of the most brutal open-road races in history. Through Sicilian dust and chaos, he hurled this wooden wonder to an astonishing 6th-place finish. Imagine piloting a polished violin down a mountain road at over 100 miles an hour and surviving. Under the long, gleaming hood sat that mighty 8-liter straight six, around 195 horsepower at 3,000 RPM. That may not sound wild today, but in 1924, it was practically witchcraft. Power went through a 3-speed gearbox to the rear wheels, and get this, it had servo-assisted brakes years before most homes even had electricity. This wasn't just technology, it was arrogance wrapped in engineering brilliance. After the race, Dubonnet had the car converted for street use, complete with headlamps, windscreen, and even a giant spotlight mounted on the passenger side, presumably to blind the poor souls trying to keep up. Over the decades, the Tulipwood Torpedo lived several lives. A showpiece, a racer, a road warrior. It survived bomb damage during World War II, was resurrected by eccentric British collectors, and restored by artisans who treated it like a national treasure. One of them even replaced its steel fenders with handmade mahogany ones, sculpted by an old boat builder who turned planks into poetry. Every owner since has been a caretaker of history. It's appeared at Pebble Beach, the Henry Ford Museum, and concourse lawns across continents, admired by the kind of people who whisper about torque curves over caviar. And then, almost a century after its creation, the impossible happened again. In 2022, this wooden miracle rolled across the auction block at Monterey and sold for $9.2 million. $9 million for a car made of wood and audacity. But let's be honest, this isn't about money. The Hispano-Suiza Tulipwood Torpedo is a testament to a time when engineering was art and art was dangerous. Every rivet, every grain, every handmade curve tells the story of an era when the line between genius and madness was just a thin strip of mahogany. You don't own a car like this. You inherit a legend, a wooden rocket that laughs at the impossible. So, the next time you see a hypercar made of carbon fiber bragging about lightweight innovation, remember, in 1924, a group of madmen in leather caps already did it, and they did it with wood. To our viewers, the varnish on our mahogany dreams, thank you for fueling these stories. Without you, we'd be reviewing scooters in a parking lot outside IKEA. Until next time, drive something that makes your heart race, and if you ever spot a polished wooden bullet gliding down the road, wave. You've just seen a ghost from the Golden Age, the Hispano-Suiza H6C Tulipwood Torpedo.